welcome back to the channel. Grab your tea, grab your wine, grab your popcorn, because oh my goodness, I've got to talk about what is going down in Maryland this Friday, January 23rd. Today, we are deep diving into the psyche of Leslie while I'm officially crowning the Queen of Delusion, and we need to discuss Jacob's sudden pivot into what looks like a crime thriller. Plus, Bill is throwing money at his problems again. Does this man ever learn? Let's not waste a second. Let's unlock the gates. The main event. Leslie versus Shanice, the battle for Ted. Okay, let's start with the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the lion is prowling around the country club. I am talking about Leslie. Now, listen to me closely. We all know Leslie, played by the fabulous Mann-Grant, operates on a completely different frequency than the rest of the human population. Her entitlement isn't just a character flaw, it's practically her superpower. We have watched her navigate her relationship with Detective Malone, right? On paper, she looks happy, she looks moved on, but we know better. The psychology of Leslie. Here is my read on the situation. Leslie doesn't actually love Ted Richardson. I said what I said. She doesn't love him. She loves the idea of possessing him. It's territorial. It's deeply narcissistic. To Leslie, Ted isn't a person with feelings who is allowed to fall for Shanice. Ted is a vintage purse she saw in a window 5 years ago. Decided she wanted, but hasn't bought yet. And now that she sees Shanice walking out of the store with that purse, oh, she is losing her mind. The spoilers tell us that on Friday, Leslie confronts Shanice directly. This comes right after she spots them on that official date at the club. And let's pause, how bold are Ted and Shanice? I love it. Taking their relationship from a quiet hospital flirtation to a public display of affection at the country club is a power move. They are planting a flag. The confrontation analysis. Leslie is going to try to big-time Shanice. We've seen her do it before. She's going to use passive-aggressive comments. She's going to bring up history. She's going to try to make Shanice feel small, inadequate, or like a placeholder. But here is my theory, and why I'm so hyped for this scene. Shanice is not Nicole. Remember when Nicole DeBoer just kind of bowed out gracefully? She didn't want the drama. Shanice is built differently. Ernestine Johnson plays her with this grounded, fiery grit. I don't think Shanice is going to take the high road here. I think she's going to look Leslie dead in the eye and say, "He chose me. Deal with it." My prediction. I predict this confrontation will backfire on Leslie spectacularly. Instead of scaring Shanice off, it's going to make Shanice fight harder for Ted. But here's the danger zone. If Leslie feels humiliated, she is going to escalate. I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to sabotage Ted's career or dig up dirt on Shanice's past to use later. Leslie is a scorched earth kind of woman. And don't forget, she has a detective boyfriend, Marcel. Will she manipulate Marcel into investigating Shanice under false pretenses? That is a mess I can totally see happening in February sweeps. The heart of the show. Anita, Sharon, and the Articulates. Let's take a breath and move to the emotional anchor of the show. We need to talk about Anita. Tamara Tooney has been acting her heart out with this cancer storyline. It's raw, it's real, and it's stripping away Anita's icy exterior. Last week, we saw Tracy try the tough love approach. Look, I love Tracy, but that was a massive miscalculation. You don't bark orders at a woman who is terrified of her own mortality. It felt tone deaf. Sharon's redemption arc. But Friday belongs to Sharon. I find this fascinating because, remember the beginning of the series? Sharon and Anita were not clicking like this. It was rocky. To see Sharon step up as the true support system is such a beautiful payoff for the writers. It shows that friendship isn't about who you've known the longest. It's about who shows up when the sky is falling. The spoilers mention Anita leaning on Sharon. This vulnerability is crucial. It changes the dynamic of the Articulates. Anita is usually the queen bee of that group, but she has to let someone else take the wheel. Vernon's moment. And can we talk about Vernon for a second? The spoiler says Sharon taught him to sing so he could surprise Anita. First of all, Clifton Davis is a legend, we know he can sing. But in the context of the character, this is the wholesome content we need to balance out the toxicity of Leslie and Bill. Theory. I think this performance by Vernon is going to be the moment Anita decides to fight harder. It's not just about survival. It's about staying for the people who love her. However, I am worried, usually, when soaps give us a moment this sweet, tragedy is lurking around the corner. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm keeping my guard up. True Detective. Jacob goes deep undercover. Okay. Shift gears completely. Are we watching Beyond the Gates or The Wire? Because Jacob is entering some serious danger. Let's analyze this plasma ring plot. Jacob Jiber Hodges is young, hungry, and has a massive chip on his shoulder. He is living in the shadow of his father, Chief Hamilton, and he's constantly butting heads with Detective Malone. He wants a win. He needs a win to prove he isn't just a nepotism hire. The plasma angle. The writers chose something very specific here. A multi-million-dollar black market plasma ring. This isn't just petty theft. This is organized crime. It involves medical exploitation. It's gritty. Elon gave the green light, but Malone is skeptical. Listen, I am usually Team Jacob, but I think Malone is right to be worried. Jacob is going in alone. The risk assessment and theory. Here's my fear. Jacob is too eager. When you are undercover, one slip-up ends you. My theory. I think Jacob is going to succeed initially. He's going to get inside, maybe make a contact, but he is going to see something, maybe a face he recognizes, perhaps someone connected to the wealthy families of the gated community, and that is when it goes sideways. Imagine if he finds out that a respectable member of the Gates community is funding this plasma ring. That would tie the crime story back to the social drama perfectly. I don't think Jacob walks away from this unscathed. I predict a hospital visit for Jacob in the next 2 weeks, which will force his father and Malone to finally work together to avenge him. The corporate snake. Bill, Tomas, and the payoff. Oh, Bill. Played by Timon Kyle Durrett. The spoilers say Bill is buying Tomas's silence. Let's break down the economics of this. Tomas knows that Bill and Donnie are, well, inseparable. And by inseparable, we mean having an affair that could nuke Bill's marriage and his reputation. The power dynamic shift. Bill thinks money solves everything. He thinks he can throw a check at Tomas and make the problem disappear. But look at the spoiler. This could yield nice things for Tomas, like a partner position. This is huge. Tomas Alex Alegria is leveling up. He is no longer just the assistant or the subordinate. He is becoming a player. Analysis. This is a classic deal with the devil. If Tomas accepts the partnership as hush money, he owns Bill. Bill thinks he is buying silence, but he's actually handing Tomas the leash. Every time Bill tries to assert authority later, all Tomas has to do is clear his throat and look at Dani. The Dani factor. And where is Dani in this? She's busy plotting with Pamela, but does she know Bill is being blackmailed? If she finds out Bill promoted Tomas just to hide their secret, she might view it as weakness. Dani likes power. Watching Bill scramble to cover his tracks might actually turn her off. The fashion play. Dani, Pamela, and Isaiah. Finally, we have the modeling agency subplot. Dani and Pamela are targeting Isaiah David Lummy Freeb. Why Isaiah? Currently, he's working at Banneker and for Eva. He's a hard worker. He seems like a good guy. Dani and Pamela circling him feels like sharks circling a seal. They don't just want a model. They want a face. But the modeling world in soaps is never just about photos. It's about parties. It's about compromise. It's about seduction. To conflict. Isaiah has seemed serious about his current path. But money talks. Dani and Pamela are going to dazzle him with promises of fame and quick cash. My theory. I think Isaiah accepts, thinking he can handle it as a side hustle. But this is going to put strain on his relationship with Eva. Eva is grounded. The modeling world is superficial. This is the wedge that drives them apart. Also, Keep an eye on Pamela. I have a feeling she might take a personal interest in their new style model. If you catch my drift, that would add a whole new layer of mess to the agency. Final thoughts and question of the day. So, to recap the madness coming this Friday, Leslie is about to crash and burn in her confrontation with Shanice. And I cannot wait to see Shanice hold her ground. Jacob is playing with fire in a plasma ring that sounds way too dangerous for a rookie. Anita is finally letting her guard down with Sharon grab the tissues. Bill is essentially handing his company over to Tomas to keep his zipper problem secret. This episode feels like a pivotal moment. It's setting out the dominoes for the rest of the season. Here's my question for you guys. Do you think Shanice will tell Ted about Leslie's confrontation, or will she keep it to herself to avoid drama? Which, let's be honest, usually backfires. And do we trust Tomas? Is he going to take the partnership and stay loyal? Or is he planning a hostile takeover of Bill's life? Let me know your theories in the comments below. I read every single one of them. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're excited for Friday's episode. And subscribe, so you don't miss our breakdown next week. Until then, keep watching the gates, because you never know what is trying to get in. Peace.